Here we go. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everyone. You are here with Gail or Melissa Matthews. Sorry, I don't know my own name.
Gail Sigalakis.
And we are here to teach you all about creativity and critical thinking. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I'm going to escape out of here, and I just want to show you how to view our last webinar of FY19 so that you can be successful. So if you are at weeklywebinars.palmbeachschools.org and you hit play and you are watching the video, in the bottom right corner, click that YouTube icon. Now that we're on this screen, which is the YouTube screen, you can see on the right, here's my chat window. Go up to that top and click live chat, so that you'll see everything in the live chat and not just those that Google thinks is important. The other thing you're going to notice is this is a tad bit blurry. We're going to click that settings gear and click quality and make it 720p. That will clear everything up for you and allow you to watch it and see everything clearly and be able to follow along. So without further ado, I'm going to go back to our presentation. And in the chat window, do us a favor and answer this question. What does creativity mean to you? So go ahead and type in that chat window for us. And while you do that, we're going to keep on checking.
Yep. Let us know who you are if you're with us.
Yes, your name,
Give
your
us a
school,
shout out.
all that fun stuff.
And then this morning, Melissa brought up a good point when she talked about.
Oh, yeah. So there was a big discussion, I guess, if you will, up here at the district office, how we are going to take a worksheet and we're going to digitize it, or a textbook and digitize it, or whatever teaching material you will, and digitize it. And are we now creative in our teaching? And so there was lots of conversation in regards to that. And you guys can go ahead and chat yes or no in the chat window if you'd like. But basically, the overall answer amongst us in ed tech, at least, was no. That is not creative. That is not innovative. That is just taking something from one medium and transforming it into another medium. It doesn't make it any more exciting or engaging to a student. It just is a different
computer.
Yeah,
That's it.
It just digitizes it.
Yep.
So that does not make you innovative. So we are going to teach you ways to become innovative as we speak.
Yep. All right, so we're going to cover creativity and critical thinking today. We're going to go over using Google Draw and some things you can do there. We're also going to go and just a quick tip in Google Slides about locking backgrounds. And then we'll talk about creating digital escape rooms using some Google tools that we are probably mostly familiar with. So it should be an easy thing to learn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go live into Google Draw and just share with you some things that I found and some tips you can use Google Draw for. And then I think Melissa, can you share that folder?
Yes.
So there's a folder for you guys today. If you go into that, you can use any of the resources. Just make yourself a copy, change it, tweak it, however you need to, whatever you need to do that works for you and your situation. So I'm going to go into the folder right now. And first, we're going to look at this real quick activity that I was just playing around with. So Google Draw is kind of like the creation station, I guess. There's not a lot of drawing features or creative stuff in Docs. So you can insert drawings into your Docs. This is where you would go, is to Google Draw. And when you go into Docs, you just go insert picture. It also has insert drawing. And then you can open up drawing and then create in there. So we're going to talk today about some ways that you can make it manipulative, how you can send it out to students, and some things you can make with it. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is just what Draw is. Here's your blank canvas you can work with. You have all these tools up here, so you have different lines and curves you can make within your drawing. You can also use the different shapes, similar to what you would see in slides. And you have text box you can add in as well. When you click on the images, you can upload from your computer or search the web like we're used to doing, or even our drive, like we're used to doing with docs and slides. So this is just one quick example of what you could do to create what you could create for your kids. So like a money manipulative activity for them. I just went ahead and put some dollar bills there. Pick a shape that you like to work with, and then you can create some task cards here. And then you can say I put place your used cards here. So when you create the shapes, if you double click in them, it lets you type, and then you can create scenarios or situations. So we're talking about money. Crystal bought a toy bike for $2.03. The kids can drag and drop their money to make that, and then flip that card over here once they're done practicing that. And then to make it a little bit harder for kids, I think once they've finished these task cards, once you've taught them how to use some of these tools, you can go ahead and have them create the task cards themselves and use some situations and scenarios maybe they experience in their own life, like going to the dollar store at Target and buying items, because that's what my daughters like to do. So they would make dollar store items available.
That's awesome. Which honestly, these are dollar store items.
Yeah, that's
the little package of money.
Yeah, and then you could change any of this stuff. So one thing that I'm going to point out when you're inserting pictures in here, at least for me, I have pennies right now, and we have quarters. So let's add some dimes today. So if I go in here, we're going to search the web. I'm going to look for dime. And I like to put with a transparent background. So that way you get rid of the little squares around it, and you just have the money itself. Let's choose, this one's good. And we insert it. It's always going to put it on your on your canvas. You can shrink it to what you need it to be. And then we come over here. When you put it off to the side, that's what makes it turn into a manipulative. If it's here on the drawing and you save it, it's going to be part of the drawing. Otherwise, here it becomes manipulatives that kids can drag and drop in place. So I just use my quick keys, Control-C, and then we just make as many copies as we need to, so the kids have some money to play around with. Voila. Yep. Magic. So that's one feature. We were also talking earlier about if you go into this tool and upload from a website, you can look for different templates, like Venn diagram templates or things like that. And if you can find a nice background for the Venn diagram template, you can insert that in there, and then the kids can drag and drop into the Venn diagram. So you could use some of the pre-made templates that are out there to put into your Google Drawing. And then as far as sharing this out with kids goes, what you would do is put this drawing into your Google Classroom, and then choose that option to make a copy for each student. That way, when they open up their screens, they each have their own copy. They can make the problems or do the graphic organizer or whatever it is you're working on. And then you could model it in the front of the room with your nice whiteboard or your nice interactive flat panel.
Yes.
That they can drag and drop also.
When you get it, if you don't already have it. Which you will all get.
It will be coming.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one feature, one way you can use it. And then if I'm going back into the folder for the for today, story graphic organizers. Again, it's just something that is
Isn't it cute?
Easy to make and play around with. These are just shapes. So when you look at your shape options, I think it was one of these down here.
Down, second row.
Butterfly
on the right.
wings.
There.
Right there. Yeah. And then you could just rotate it around your image. Right?
Yes.
So when you can see the note here that when you create the drawings, it looks like you can't type in it. And when you click once, you can't. But if you double click, then it lets you type in. Story took place in a magical forest or wherever it might have taken place. And then they go around and put the elements of their story in. And then if you're sending it out through Google Classroom, that means that they're going to be able to make this an assignment, and they can actually turn it in once they finish it. So that's another one. And then we also have the math manipulatives as well. So I must have been in a math mood when I was doing this, but math manipulatives, story maps, and then I also put this in there for you guys as well. I'm not taking credit for this one. But this way they can compare fractions, add fractions, all that good stuff, and move it around without having to have those little, I remember the bags full of the cubes and tiles for actual hands-on manipulatives, and then you always end up losing one or losing some, and then it's not a complete set. Well, guess what? The set you can't lose. It's right here. Also in that folder, I put a link to the 50 plus ways to use Google Drawing in your classroom. So feel free. I did not make that. The name of the author is in there, but feel free to use what you want. And when you click on something you like, just make yourself a copy. It'll go into your drive, and then you can tweak it the way you need to tweak it. So those are some resources for using Google Draw. So we're going to go back. Let's get rid of money, story, fractions. Let's see. Next, we're going to talk about Google Slides.
Yay!
And the backgrounds. Although, funny story, or maybe not. I don't know. But
what will she say next?
We did this morning.
Yes.
And then I would just happen to be going through my daughter's school classroom. Because I'm that parent. I'm that teacher parent.
Yes.
This is not what I want. But I'm that teacher parent who will go through my kids'
Well,
school
that
classroom.
means you're a good parent. Yes,
Just
go
to
ahead.
monitor what
Yes.
she's doing. So I happen to see her slides that her groups have been making, and they are way more skilled and advanced than what I'm going to show you guys today because they're already doing that. So
well, that's good.
maybe all of you out there already know about this, and that's fine.
That's
But
okay.
She had a lot of insect slides, and they were very cool with backgrounds and stuff. So
Cool.
anyways, just talking about another way you can make it so that kids can drag and drop, and you would basically put your planets all around out of order, and then the kids have to drag and drop them back into order.
My
right?
very educated mother just
Right.
served us 9 pizzas.
Right. We're talking about whether or not to include Pluto, which is on this slide.
And we
There's
decided
Pluto.
that if you don't include it, you don't get pizza, so you have to.
This is true. So what we're going to show here, apparently that all first graders know already how to do. So I don't know if you know or not, but I looked at it today and I was like, oh, geez. I'm like, maybe more people are
More tech savvy than we think.
That's
That's okay, because it was new
Either
to
that or
me.
the kids figured it out because the kids are pretty quick.
So basically, in order to get the background, something that you want, so let's do an insect one. You go
Okay.
to slide, change background, and you choose an image. But of course, we don't have images in our right pocket. So she's going to go to search, and she's going to type in.
Let's do grass, and then we
Okay.
can put the insects in.
Are you sure we're going to get the right grass? Maybe lawn? Yeah, you never know. We just read something
Okay,
is
let's
going
just
to the
play
board.
it safe.
So
Insert.
that grass, yeah.
Done. And now you have this normal, because when you send out slides, kids can move and manipulate everything on your slide if it's not in the
Locked
background.
down.
So then we could say, okay, go ahead and put in now we can just insert images.
So now what type of animal would you find living in this environment? So maybe we'd find a cricket.
Okay.
Oh, rock country cricket. Insect. There we go. And do you want one with the
Or do we
transparent
want
background?
transparent background? Let's try
I
it.
don't know if we're going to find that one, but let's see. Transparent. It's
Doesn't like it.
3:15 on a Friday.
Oh,
There you go. Perfect.
I think it might happen.
So we insert that, and then that little cricket
Did you
just
say it's
sits right.
3:15 on a Friday?
Oh, I wish it was Friday. Tuesday.
It just
Sorry.
started.
Woo!
All right. So yeah. Anyways, so this way they're only going to be able to manipulate the shapes that you put in there, and then the background stays as it is or as you want it to be. So that's how you can kind of create some drag and drop action. And then Melissa did mention today that if you're using Smart Notebook regularly, then to do that in Smart Notebook, there's the little in the corner of your image.
I was going to point to the screen, but they can't see that.
Yeah. In the corner of your image, it will drop down in Smart Notebook, and then you'll just click lock image, and that locks the image in place. And then when you share it out, it can't be manipulated or moved.
And I also want to just point out the fact that we wrote in that Google search transparent image after what we were searching for to make it so that it was a transparent and not like a white background.
Otherwise, you get a box.
Exactly.
It just doesn't look as nice.
Exactly.
But also thinking about the kids making slides and collaborating together, if you guys share out these tools with them, it just makes their ability to create that much easier.
Yep.
On their side. Although they apparently already know it.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
at least that one class. I
At
mean,
least my daughter's
really,
classes.
it all depends upon who the teacher is in front of the
That's
room,
true.
right? Which
Yeah.
is why we have such a diverse group of people watching our webinars, because some of them know all of this and want a little bit more, which is why they come. And some of them are very fearful of any of it. And this is a great, slow, easy, non-threatening way to learn.
Yeah.
So, or at least that's what I think. Hopefully that's what you think.
Yeah. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is digital escape rooms. So you've heard of Breakout EDU, and those are really cool, but sometimes cost money. And so we want to try to share things for you guys that aren't going to cost you anything, and we'll use a lot of the tools that you probably are already familiar with.
I will say I am a Breakout EDU trainer. So yes, the platform costs money. Yes, the box costs money. Can you make it yourself? Yes.
Yeah.
Can you make it for almost nothing? Yes. Ask your, depending upon where you are, if you're out in the farms or out in the glades or, out in, not the glades, maybe the glades, but out like in a fishing environment, which we're in Florida, so I guess that is everywhere. All you really need is an old toolbox with
That's
the
true.
ability to lock.
A rusty lock that
A
unlocks and locks.
Yeah. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
boom, you have the big container for the Breakout EDU kit.
Yeah.
The stuff you can put inside of it, you can really make on
yourself.
paper
Yeah.
and do yourself. So you need a box and you need a few locks.
Yeah.
And the locks could even be digital, which is what
we're going to talk about it now.
There you go.
Yeah. So
what you said.
Yeah. In the so I'm just going to share one that I did last year. And that's not what we want. I always start with like one place to house everything. So FSA escape room is what I call it. And then from there,
the SCAPS room.
Thank you for the type.
Sorry. Let me just announce that to everyone for you.
And so I'll just show you like an example of what you created. I mean, you already do it with your kids. You do the activities you do with your kids already. It's just a way of turning it into something fun and engaging and more like small group. So whatever task it is you're creating, this one is
you made this yourself because it looks very, very nice.
Yeah. Well,
like
I do have the help. I will give credit to Molly McFadden. She's we worked on this together.
Okay.
And so we're in the process of prettying things up.
I like it.
Last year it was very bland.
It looks professionally made.
So
like people would pay money for. You should teacher pay teacher.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're not supposed to say those words in the district, are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you weren't allowed. Okay.
But yes.
Yes.
And so so this is just like comprehension questions, and so I'll show you how you can turn. You take any of your activities, comprehension questions, the listening activity, and turn it into the breakouts, so to say, is one way, whatever you want to call it. So for this one, I'll show you 2 ways that you can turn it into a locks. So here's one, more visual, I guess. So literally, I just pasted some locks onto the screen. And then I went into each lock and I wrote lock 1, lock 5, whatever it was, station, whatever they're working on, and then put the hyperlink to the form they're going to fill out to see if they got it unlocked or not, right? So when I click there, it takes me to the first lock. And I try to get fun with the codes. So basically I had to take question 1 and 6 and add them together and then subtract it from these 2 and then add it to these 2. And that gives you a 3-digit combination, right? What it looks like on the other end as far as editing is concerned, you just put lock 1. And you put I like to give them a clue. So you want to switch it up. Sometimes it's 5 letters. Sometimes it's 3 digits, depending on, even if you have locks, like actual locks, you could go and use. So there's that. And then you want to change the bottom so that it's a number or text. So if it's going to be letters they have to figure out, then text, numbers. And then you want to make sure.
How did you get that line first? Because you skipped that part.
This line?
Yep. Because that's not there unless you choose something.
The response validation.
Yes.
Right. So if I take response validation back, it doesn't really, they just submit an answer.
Mm-hmm.
They would know if they got it right or wrong. So response validation makes it so the number, we want to make it so it's equal to, so there's only one answer. If we make it greater than, it can be anything higher or less than anything lower. So equal to, and then we will make it
459.
I don't think it matters, but maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
And then you can customize what you want it to say.
So now tell me again.
It does say customize error text.
Oh, so maybe it's supposed to be.
Oops.
Yeah.
Try again. And I was talking about how I like this little, I like emoji 1.
Yep.
So oops, try again might be. Right?
There you go.
Try again. It's really when they put the wrong number in.
Yeah. So tell me again, why are we using response validation instead of the quiz? Because if I know on the quiz, it allows you to put a, yeah, you got it right, or no, you got it wrong kind of response, where on here you only get 1.
That's a good question. I don't know, because it adds point values.
Not all, you can take that on or off for the quiz. So like click answer key.
I guess it's just one additional step. So it would be 459.
Uh-huh. Okay. So either way, I mean, it basically does the same thing, right?
And then what?
And then mark all the other answers incorrect. And then there should be response feedback, add answer feedback. And then you can do, I thought there was a positive and a negative.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not. Or maybe there's a video based off of whatever it is.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I haven't played around with
I guess
the points.
either would work fine.
Yeah, you could if you want to.
And
I
then if you
played
scroll
with
down, like go to the quizzes tab and scroll down, you just turn point values off and then you don't have to worry about points.
That's true. You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have to make sure that it's going to
suppose you could use
show
both.
the answer immediately after you answer the question.
If it's, you don't want that to show the wrong answer. Because you want them to go back and try again.
Okay, so go back to quizzes. Let's see what we can do here. Go down, release grade, missed questions, correct answer. So you take off the correct answer and point values, but you can at least tell them whether or not they got it right or wrong.
Right.
Okay.
Because you want them to go back and try again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure why I don't. I just don't.
Okay.
But you could.
Yeah.
Just take off the point values. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids freak out when they see points and you don't grade them.
Yes.
They don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's not a grade. Well, then why are there points there?
Yes.
I don't know. And so that's one option. And then, so yeah, I just put the links to the forms with each lock. This was another one, I think that, oh yeah, they went through a listening station and they had to actually put the answer for each question in as they went. And then that unlocked them. So you could make it many different types of locks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I was going to show is, so I think this was just, again, another sample way you can do it. So by sectioning it off, you could put images in to show you unlocked it. And then here's the place for the next code. Same thing, you want to put the response validations in. And then depending on what your activity is, you can use letters instead of numbers as they go. So you can use any of that stuff, tweak it, change it, however you want to use it. I feel like I'm missing something. But let's go back.
Oh, we didn't talk about the fractions. Oh, that one, yeah.
I showed the fractions.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing, I'm just gonna scroll through and just give you an overview of that links back to critical thinking. If you were at the Tech Talk, then you saw this. If you were not at the Tech Talk, then you missed this, and I'll just give you a quick overview. John Long and I did a presentation on critical thinking and pretty much like digital media type print ad, getting kids to think through things and not just always be the kids that look at something and believe it because it's right in front of your face. So getting kids to stop and think about what it is that they're looking at. So we printed a series of print ads, historical and current, and we also tried to throw math in a little bit here. So if you got a chance to do this math here, you would find out that this is not the best deal. Even though it's advertised as. And so we just put some questions for the kids to think about. If you could find ads with math, then that's how you can incorporate it. You could put them around the room, turn them into QR codes if you want to. Any of those kind of fun ways to get them out of their seat. We threw the historical ads in there. So if you're a history or a social studies teacher, then that's one way to bring in the past with where we are and our thinking today. So here it's, do you want this in your food? And it's an old ad for asbestos cement that was used in refrigeration. Also thinking about ulterior motives of ads and what they're saying to us, but not really showing us. And that leads into some fact checking and research work that kids can do instead of always just, believing what they see on the screen in front of them. And then we also threw in, there's some controversial ones out there. You can find some really good ads out there that have ulterior agendas behind them. We also had one here about how they used to promote that everybody feed themselves, garden, take care of yourself, have chickens. And now here we are where you have to, it's illegal or you're fighting laws to be able to put gardens in your yards and that kind of thing. So just some things to think about to get kids thinking a little bit more critically about what it is they're reading online. These QR codes will link to video ads. So just taking it to another level, instead of just print, you can analyze the video for ethos, pathos, and logos, that type of thing that they're
Snickers.
Yeah. All right, so that was the critical thinking poster. If you have any questions about that or you want to learn more about the presentation we did, you can just reach out and I can share with you some of the materials that we did or our slideshow that we presented with. And then that's going to take us back to our weekly webinar.
Okay, so your homework is all due May 25th. So there are a total of 6 classes starting from March 12th through today. Today is the last class for the semester. They are all due May 25th. And I think I just graded almost all of them. So you can go back and check and make sure that everything's the way it should be up until now. So I will go back and recheck everything and add points where needed. But everything is due May 25th. You need to be not in live attendance, but you have to watch the entire video. The implementation homework, you need to take a picture of something you learned during this webinar that you utilized on your own. The picture must not be taken during the webinar. It needs to be taken after the webinar. And you need to submit that homework via ELM in the add picture box. And then there's a plus button off to the right where you can add multiple pictures in the same area. There is one survey that needs to be done for the entire semester, and that also can be found in ELM. And that is really all. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't mind, please take that evaluation for us one last time. Again, if you want us to personally come and assist you, mark yes for I need more training. If you just want to see more trainings, feel free to look at all of our archived videos. We have every video on every subject archived that we've trained on the weekly webinars website. So feel free to go back and watch whatever you'd like. And we thank you for joining us and have a wonderful summer. We'll see you next year. Bye.